Words of love can be said easily, yet the reality of love is always revealed in actions, consistency, and emotional presence. Psychology confirms that people often say one thing, while their behavior communicates something very different. And in relationships, this difference is the clearest way to see whether genuine love exists or not. Many stay with partners who assure them of their feelings, yet something feels missing, disconnected, or even false. That gap between words and reality creates confusion, anxiety, and often self-doubt. Before you dismiss those instincts, it is important to know that love is not simply spoken. It is demonstrated through observable signs, and when those signs disappear, the words lose their weight. These 10 signs explain what psychologists have identified as the most reliable indicators that a partner does not truly love you, even if they say the words often. 1. They stop prioritizing your needs. A loving partner pays attention to your needs in ways that go beyond the surface. They notice when you are tired, when you are stressed, or when you are in need of reassurance, and they make an effort to respond. When that effort fades, psychology identifies it as a shift away from genuine love. A person can still say the right words, but when your needs are no longer seen or valued, the relationship begins to function on routine rather than affection. The absence of prioritization shows in practical ways. For example, your plans are often overlooked, your opinions carry little weight in decision-making, and your comfort is rarely considered. This is not about grand gestures, but about everyday recognition, the type of awareness that reveals someone is emotionally invested. When that is missing, you begin to feel invisible in your own relationship, which is one of the most painful experiences anyone can endure. Over time, this neglect creates emotional distance. You may notice that conversations become one-sided, or that you are constantly adjusting to their preferences without any sign of balance. Psychology views this as a clear signal. When a partner does not prioritize your needs in any consistent way, their love has weakened regardless of what they say. 2. They withdraw from physical affection. Love expresses itself strongly through physical closeness. A touch on the shoulder, holding hands, or an embrace at the right moment speaks volumes more than repeated verbal reassurance. When physical affection fades away, it signals that the partner is no longer motivated to connect on that deeper human level. This withdrawal is rarely about stress or fatigue alone. Psychology confirms that physical touch is one of the strongest indicators of emotional connection. You may notice that hugs feel forced, kisses are brief, or there is no spontaneous closeness anymore. While sexual intimacy can still happen, the absence of gentle and unplanned affection reveals a lack of tenderness. A partner who truly loves you seeks these moments naturally because they feel rewarding and grounding. Without them, the relationship loses warmth and becomes transactional. This gradual withdrawal impacts your sense of security. The human brain relies on touch for bonding, and when it disappears, your body starts to feel rejected even if your partner continues to say, "I love you." It is one of the most direct contradictions between words and reality, and it often points to fading love. 3. They show little curiosity about your inner world. When someone loves you, they remain curious about your thoughts, dreams, and feelings. They ask questions, they listen carefully, and they try to understand the way you see life. When love fades, this curiosity is often the first thing to vanish. You may find yourself sharing something important, only to receive a distracted response, or no follow-up at all. Psychologists explain that emotional curiosity is linked to empathy. A partner who cares deeply wants to know you on a continuous basis, not only at the start of the relationship. Without that drive, conversations become shallow. You begin to talk less, and silence fills the spaces that once carried laughter or meaningful dialogue. This lack of curiosity sends a strong message. They no longer see you as someone to grow with. They may still talk about their own life, their challenges, and their plans, but they rarely step into your inner world. Over time, this imbalance leaves you feeling unknown and disconnected, which is one of the clearest signs that the emotional bond has weakened. 4. They no longer defend or protect you. In a healthy relationship, love naturally brings a sense of protection. It does not mean constant conflict with others, but it does mean that your partner stands up for you when it matters. They support you in public. They correct others when you are spoken about unfairly, and they show loyalty in moments of tension. When this disappears, psychologists identify it as a strong indicator that the emotional bond has diminished. You may notice that they remain silent when you are criticized, or that they even join in dismissively when others speak against you. Their lack of defense communicates that your dignity is no longer something they value. A partner who loves you does not allow you to stand alone in such moments because they feel personally connected to your well-being. When a partner consistently fails to protect or support you, it sends a signal that they no longer see themselves as fully tied to you. Their sense of responsibility for your emotional safety fades, and with it, the foundation of love erodes. Words of affection cannot cover this absence because the human need for protection is deeply tied to genuine love. 5. They avoid shared future plans. Psychologists emphasize that love always carries a future orientation. When two people care for each other, they naturally talk about what lies ahead. Upcoming trips, long-term goals, and even simple activities planned weeks in advance. When a partner avoids these discussions or resists making commitments, it signals emotional detachment. You may notice that every time you raise the idea of planning, the conversation shifts or ends quickly. Their reluctance to look forward with you reveals a withdrawal of investment. Love is not only about present enjoyment, it thrives on the expectation of shared time and experiences. Without this, the relationship exists in a stagnant present with no growth. The absence of future planning creates insecurity. It leaves you uncertain about where the relationship stands and whether they truly intend to stay. Over time, this constant uncertainty erodes trust and creates anxiety. A partner who avoids any shared vision of the future while still saying they love you is demonstrating through behavior that the love is no longer genuine. 6. They dismiss your feelings. Validation is one of the most important aspects of love. A partner who cares about you takes your emotions seriously, even when they do not fully agree. When they start dismissing your feelings, minimizing your experiences, or making you feel unreasonable, psychology views this as an erosion of empathy. This dismissal can be subtle at first. They might brush off your sadness as overreaction, or treat your concerns as unimportant. With time, these patterns deepen, leaving you hesitant to express yourself. You learn to hide your true emotions because you expect them to be rejected or mocked. A loving partner wants to understand, while a partner who no longer loves cannot be bothered. Their lack of engagement with your emotions creates isolation within the relationship. Words of love lose their meaning when your real emotional experiences are ignored, and over time, this leaves you feeling lonelier with them than you would be alone. 7. They invest energy. Elsewhere, love reveals itself through energy. The time, attention, and focus your partner gives you demonstrate how much they value the relationship. When that energy begins to flow consistently toward work, friends, or even digital distractions. While you receive little to none, psychology interprets it as a sign of fading love. It is not that other commitments should not exist, but the balance changes noticeably when affection is gone. You may notice that they always have energy for external activities, but little left for you. Even simple conversations may feel like interruptions to them. This imbalance tells you exactly where their priorities now lie. Over time, this creates resentment. You begin to feel as though you are competing for their attention, and that competition is exhausting. A partner who no longer invests energy into you, while still claiming to love you, has already withdrawn emotionally in ways that words cannot repair. 8. They show indifference to your success or struggles. A partner in love celebrates your wins and supports you in your losses. Their emotions are tied to your experiences because they see your life as part of theirs. When love fades, indifference replaces this bond. You may notice that your achievements are met with silence or that your struggles receive little care. This indifference hurts deeply because it makes you feel as if your life events do not matter to the person closest to you. Psychology explains that such detachment occurs when emotional investment declines. Without empathy, their role shifts from partner to bystander. Living with someone who is indifferent creates a heavy loneliness. You feel unseen in moments of pride and unsupported in moments of pain. No matter how often they say they love you, the lack of reaction to your life experiences confirms that the love is no longer active. 9. They stop making efforts to resolve conflict. Conflict is natural in any relationship. What matters is the willingness to resolve it. Love motivates people to work through disagreements because they care about the relationship more than being right. When your partner no longer makes these efforts, psychology views it as a withdrawal of love. You may notice that arguments end in silence rather than resolution, or that issues remain unresolved for weeks. Their lack of interest in repairing the bond communicates that they no longer see the relationship as something worth the effort. Words of love become hollow in this environment because true love always seeks repair. Over time, unresolved conflicts pile up, creating bitterness. The relationship begins to feel fragile, as though any small issue could end it. A partner who no longer tries to mend conflicts is a partner who has already emotionally stepped away. 10. They treat you as an obligation. Perhaps the clearest sign that love has ended is when the relationship feels like an obligation rather than a choice. Psychology describes this as a state where affection is replaced by duty. The partner stays because it is easier than leaving, but their actions lack warmth, interest, or joy. You may notice that time together feels routine, that gestures of care are mechanical, and that conversations are shallow. The relationship continues in appearance but no longer carries the essence of love. They may still say the words, but their energy communicates detachment. This stage is particularly damaging because it leaves you trapped in an illusion. You are with someone physically present but emotionally absent. Recognizing this pattern is painful, but it is also the most undeniable proof that love has faded completely. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.